Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Valley Your Beauty, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys some things that I have learned after having been a SeneGence distributor for over 4 years now. So if you're excited to learn my biggest takeaways, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's get started. I have notes over here, so if you see me looking, that's why, because I'm trying to keep myself on track. So first things first that I learned is it is a marathon, not a sprint. So this is something that I learned in my business personally, and then also what I've learned when it comes to coaching new downlines and new distributors is really you have to understand this is a marathon, not a sprint. So it takes time to grow, and a lot of times the people that you are joining, for example like myself or other distributors in the company, they have already been doing this for a while. So they have already learned how to market themselves, market the product, share the products. They have gone through their stages where they were terrified of doing live videos, you know, their makeup skills were awful, they didn't know how to take selfies, they didn't know how to talk to people or share the opportunity. So a lot of times the people that you join will have already been doing this for 4 years, and they went through that period of failing forward. So don't ever think that you have to start and be right where someone else is. It's going to take a growth period, and you're going to learn over time as you continue to try new things in practice and just literally fail forward. So for myself, if you guys are on my channel and have watched any of my videos, you guys know I never wore makeup, I never used skincare, I knew nothing about it. I for the first time in 27 years, I attempted to curl my hair and use skincare. So it was a complete transformation for me being an absolute tomboy. I ran track in college, I did all the sports, I hung out with the boys. So I even work as an athletic trainer, which is kind of like a paramedic physical therapist, working with sports teams and taking care of all their injuries. So, you know, this was nothing that I expected that I would get into because I had zero knowledge or experience in it. But it has been such a fun journey to kind of get in touch with my girly side. And that's one of those things where it was a definite marathon for me. It took me a long time to learn how to apply eyeshadow, how to, you know, take care of my skin, how to apply foundation and find things that work for me, how to do my brows, all of those things. So I just want to encourage you to take a deep breath. It is a marathon. So growth takes time. There will be ups and downs, and it's not you, it's just the growing pains of running a business, okay? And that's across the board for pretty much any business. It's gonna be a lot of ebb and flow and learn as you go. So I just want to encourage you to not feel like you have to do all the things all at once. Start with something small, you know, and then figure out how to do that and then add on from there. So that is something that I try and remind all my new girls is you're doing great where you're at. You know, try and add on some new stuff here, get outside your comfort zone, try something new, but don't overwhelm yourself, because if you overwhelm yourself, then you'll go nowhere because you're like, this is too much, I can't do it, and you'll quit. So start small, tackle one platform, tackle one makeup item, and then move on from there, okay? And then takeaway number 2, this is the most important, and I think honestly this is why so many people fail when it comes to direct sales, is you have to give before you can ever expect to receive. I feel like a lot of people sign up, and the second that they sign up, they're like, okay, I am now a SeneGence distributor, buy my stuff. And then nobody bought my stuff, therefore I'm not good at this, I failed, or no one wants the products, and then they quit. But you can't expect people to just give you their money like that. I don't know if it's like arrogance or just really lazy marketing, but one of the two. It has to be one of those two, because you really think people are just going to give you money and they don't even know anything about what it is that you're selling. They've never even seen you wear it or share it. You have to think about in terms of authenticity. When you recommend, you know, I don't know, what everybody loves, the air fryer, that's because you've used it and you loved it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna make your life so much easier. You really need to get this. It makes it so, you know, easy, or Instapot, maybe that's what it was. So easy to prepare your food, and it can save you so much time, blah, 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 blah. We have no problem talking about things like that. Imagine bringing that same energy to the tinted moisturizer, where it's like, girl, you don't need to wear foundation anymore. You can put it on in seconds. You can use a blender, you can use your hands, you can use a brush. It evens out your skin tone, so you don't even need to use concealer or anything underneath it. And it's actually good for your skin, and it actually protects your skin from the sun too. What that is, one-stop shop. I throw it on and I'm out the door. Imagine doing that versus just buy the CCTM, It's really good. No, you didn't give them anything. You didn't give them any reason why they would want to buy it other than just buying it. So think about giving. What can you do to, first and foremost, educate, right? You have to educate people on what it is that you're doing and what it is that you are selling. And once you educate, then you have to actually empower them to purchase, because it might be like, well, that's great for you, but I can't afford it, or I don't know how to do makeup. And so the empowerment comes from actually showing your transformation, showing how things fit into your lifestyle, and making people think, you know what, maybe I do have 60 seconds every day that I could throw on some tinted moisturizer before I go out the day. Maybe, she says that putting that on makes her feel more put together and more confident and ready to tackle the day, and just puts her in a better mood and makes her feel more confident. I want to feel more confident. You know, maybe that could be that way for me. So you have to let people in. It's not enough to just educate. Not enough to just educate, but you also have to empower people to kind of live vicariously through you so that they can start to believe in themselves. And that's how it was for me when I first joined. When it came to lipstick, I never wore lipstick. I thought it looked awful on me, and it always ended up on my teeth. I'm like, I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna wear it. But my friend would post selfies daily wearing these beautiful lip colors and showing how it didn't come off, and she educated on what lip sense was, how it worked, how to apply it, and all those things. But then seeing her wear it and seeing her talk about her confidence and her growth, and that made me be like, I want to be confident. Like, I want to do that. I want to look pretty. I want to take pictures. I want to feel like $100. And so that was the empowerment side of it. So there's the education and then empowerment. So you have to give all of that first. All of that takes work. All of that takes time. All that takes a plan. So you have to give before you can ever expect to receive. And when you give enough, then you will never have a problem receiving in return. Okay? So then number 3, treat it like a business. I feel like when people start a brick and mortar business, there are certain expectations and a certain mindset that comes along with that brick and mortar. For some reason, and for the life of me, I have no idea why, when people join direct sales, it's like they don't expect to have to put in any work. They don't expect to have to market the products. They don't expect to have to use them themselves, to talk to people, to share them with people. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. I don't understand where it's like, if you started a brick and mortar, you would know, okay, first of all, we have to get the building, right? And it's going to take a lot of money to do that. And then we have to get the inventory to fill up the building, you know, because people, if they come in and it's empty, then there's not going to be anything for them to buy. That would be really dumb. So like, we have to make sure that we have inventory to stock our brick and mortar. So when people come in, they can actually purchase, you know, try things on, look at them, feel them, all the things. And then there's the expectation that you have to market and you have to be open. If you don't share with people what you're doing, they're not going to come into your store. And it's the same exact way with direct sales. And again, for the life of me, I don't know why this is never applied this way. So you have to have a business mindset. Expect when you join SeneGence that you are going to have to use the products yourself. Expect that. And that should be a no-brainer. That should be common sense, because from an authenticity standpoint and from an integrity standpoint, how can you expect to get people to buy from you? How can you build that like, know, and trust factor if you are recommending that they purchase products that you don't even use yourself? That, to me, that doesn't work. That doesn't mix, okay? So if you're recommending something, it has to be something that you've actually used. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to own every single product, but a vast majority of them, you really should. And then for the ones that you don't personally use, for example, I don't use the brightening multivitamin treatment, but I can reach out to other distributors and find ones that do so that I can share their personal experience. But the majority of products, I'm going to be able to show and share and demo myself because I'm personally using them. And that also helps you troubleshoot things, like as you're learning, as someone who never wore makeup or eyeshadow, I learned by using things and kind of failing forward how to, okay, this is how I make sure that my cream to powder eyeshadows don't crease. This is how I apply my lip tints. This is how you apply your tinted moisturizer. This is how you apply blush and where you apply it. So these I kind of learned, and a lot of times there was failures. Like, I'll see pictures and I'm like, oh, so maybe having the contour like here is way too low, so next time I gotta bring it higher. So it's a lot of learning, but you know, you have to expect to use them before you expect to share them and sell them. And that's where that business mindset comes in. And the other thing that goes along with that is purchasing at that 50% discount. When you're a new distributor, you get 50% off every single 300 PV order for 3 months, so 90 days. That means you can get $600 worth of products plus your new distributor kit for $300 plus tax and shipping. That should be everyone's first thing when you sign up, especially if you've never tried the product before. One of the first things that you should do is talk to your upline, talk to me if you sign up with me, and I will help you put together that first order that has a variety of makeup products and skincare products. And then that actually ties into your launch party, because you can do your unboxing and share with all your new group members and followers, like, I just got my first box, and you can unbox it and you can go through and you can talk about the products you just got, how they work, do a little demo right then and there, and kind of get that excitement and engagement. And then there's also something called your fast start bonuses, where you can actually get over $1,300 in free products. So these are things that as a business owner, you should really be making sure that you take advantage of. These things are all there to help you. And I feel like when it comes to brick and mortar, and my mom was a small business owner and she made everything by hand, she would not order items until she could hit that bulk order amount. So with jewelry and things like that, she would not order until she could hit that cutoff to where she would get everything at a much better price and a much higher discount, because then her profit will be higher. So that is something that I think is almost like a no-brainer for most business owners, when like brick and mortars and boutiques and things like that. And for some reason with direct sales, that seems to fly out the window. Now you can run this as more of like an influencer style, affiliate style option, instead of more of like a brick and mortar. But even so, if you are going to be an affiliate and recommending people to order products and then they buy through your link, which you can totally do and have SeneGence ship for you, you're still going to be needing to be using the products yourself, right? So you still need to place that first order, get products on hand that you can actually wear, share, and demo. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And that is where I have seen a difference between the people who be successful and the people who fall off. So the ones who are successful are going to treat it like a business. They understand that they have to show up and give value first before they can expect in return. They share everything, they use everything, they're excited, and they're very consistent. Okay, so that's what I've seen be successful for me, and what I have seen be successful for people who join me on my team. Okay, and then last thing, biggest thing is the work is simple, but it's still work, and that kind of ties all of the other things in together. So the products are already made, they're already tested, they're already packaged, so that takes out so much of the dirty work and the behind the scenes work, because we don't have to spend all the time doing that. But what that means is that gives us more time to learn how to brand ourselves, to market ourselves, to learn how to use the products, to do product knowledge. And we have to make a commitment to doing those things. Also, learning the market, learning social media, learning how to kind of like, you have to study your craft so that you can actually grow. And I think that is something where I feel like I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly learning social media, Facebook, different ways to engage. I'm also taking into consideration different learning styles. A lot of people hate doing videos, but you know what I learned when I started looking into learning styles? The majority of people are visual learners. So they want to see it done before they ever attempt it themselves. So if you're only doing like text and graphics, you're missing a huge part of the population in your marketing techniques, because for them, that means nothing. They need to actually physically see it. They can reading apply hot chocolate shadow sense in the outer corner and crease first means nothing to them, but actually seeing you do it, that is going to teach them. Okay, so keep all of those things in mind. There's also like the disc personalities with the different personality types. Like there's so many different things that you can focus on and learn and use to your advantage when you are actually looking this as like a business. And again, that work it's simple. It's not rocket science, but it is a lot of work, and you do have to invest that time into it. And when you do that, then you're going to see that success come. And that's exactly how it has been for me. So the more that I'm able to kind of like step back, look at what is working, what's not working, learn some new skills, pivot, maybe work with a business coach, pivot, and then implement new things that I'm like, okay, now see, that is having, a significant effect. That's really working. Or, even if you are someone who's like, I only want to do social media, maybe try something in person, because social media, you have to learn the algorithms and all those things, and it can be great. And I do run the majority of my business on social media, but but I'll tell you what, my purchases and like income with in-person events are so much higher because it's one concentrated effort where people are coming together to try the products and then purchase. So, you know, don't limit yourself by saying I'm only going to do online or I'm only going to do in person. A mix of both, I think, is really the best way to do it. So again, it's not rocket science. It's really not. You can Google how to market, you can YouTube how to market. There's a million of resources out there. We have amazing trainings. SeneGence does so many trainings all the time, but you do have to take that in and then take action on it. It does take consistency, it does take dedication, and I think a lot of people, when they realize it's still work, they don't want to do it. But I do also feel like the ones who realize that it is a business, it is going to take work, they're very appreciative of the fact they don't have to make the products because ain't nobody got time for that. Especially if you have kids, ain't nobody got time for that. If you got a full-time job, ain't nobody got time for that. So the fact that you get these products handed to you on a platter and then we just have to use them and share them, that is such an amazing blessing and an amazing opportunity. And that is something that the longer I run my business over these 4 years, the more and more that I start to, you know, really appreciate that. And it just makes me so much more excited to share the opportunity because I'm like, dang, all this work is already done for us. We get to do the fun part. We get to learn how to brand ourselves and to connect with other people and help them feel beautiful. And you guys, I cannot say how amazing it makes you feel when you have somebody message you about the skincare and how it cleared up their skin, or about their lip color and how confident they felt and they couldn't believe that it didn't come off and they're coming out of their shell. And it's the same way when you start building a team and you see them start earning their goals and achieving things and coming out of their shell and just like really just stepping into stepping into their own, like, it's amazing. So that makes it so worth it. So those are just kind of like the 4 things. I'm going to recap really quick because I don't want this to be too long. So number 1, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Number 2, always expect to have to give first before you can ever ask to receive anything in return. Number 3, you have to treat it like a business. And number 4, the work is simple, but it's still work. Okay, so if you like that, if that was helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye.